On in, folks.
Oh, we got 0 views on Amazon.
All right.
We got 0 views on both.
All right.
Hello, world.
Come on in, folks. Join the party.
I don't know who you're telling to come on. There's no one. Oh, we got one viewer.
One viewer.
One on each.
Hey.
Oh, it's you. It's Danny.
Oh.
Hi, Danny. No, we got one on Amazon. Is that you? Oh, that's you. Thank you. Is it up and running? Mm-hmm. Are you going to introduce yourself?
Well, I don't want to introduce it. I suppose this is recorded too, right?
Yeah, it is.
So, hi, folks. I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
I'm Mike Unitz, physical therapist assistant.
And we're trying to determine how long before I say Brad. Because this is produced by Bob and Brad, the two most famous physical therapists on the internet. In our opinion, of course.
But I give you 5 minutes till you call me Brad.
I may not even take that long. So, Brad.
There you go. Ruined it.
Got it out. All right. Today, the topic is shoulders. So, if you have a question about shoulders and shoulder pain, bring them on in because we'll talk about that. We're going to show you a bunch of products you can use with shoulder pain.
Yep.
And a lot of these are very effective. We even have a couple of books we're going to recommend. And so I thought today we'd start off with the Booyah Stick. Booyah! So this may not look like much of anything, and it isn't. It's a high-grade, furniture grade, right?
PVC pipe, right. Yeah, basically. And it's got an elastic, a rubber coating kind of on it, so it's a little grippier.
Yeah,
and
it's
got
grippy.
Some rubber ends to it. You can get your own PVC pipe. It just might be a little more slippery, or a broomstick.
Right. You can't break this. I mean, we tried.
Like it.
Just is tough.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to apologize for the price because it is fairly pricey.
Yeah.
And the reason it is because Amazon has all these extra charges for it because of the size and the storage and the shipping. And I'm going to tell them right now, Mike, I'm going to be upfront. We make $6. We make $6 on this at this price. So
yeah, so it's $49.95 for one of them. If you find it useful using a broomstick or PVC at home and you want one, there's the option of purchasing one.
Right, and a lot of people use these for balance too. They're really good walking sticks as far as like when you're doing balance exercises in the house. But we're going to talk about shoulders today, and the first exercise I really like to do with this one, it's interesting. My wife is doing this one right now. She finally succumbed to doing this because she's been having shoulder pain, can't sleep at night. And I go, have you been doing any of these exercises? And she said, of course, no. So she tried this one yesterday. This is called the Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty.
Were you saying Liberty?
I think I was saying Liberty.
Statue of Liver.
Statue of Liberty. All right, so what you're going to do is, Mike is a little bit shorter, so he can actually do it from the floor. He can have it on the floor. I'm taller, so I actually have to put it on the chair like this. And what you're going to do, you take the painful shoulder and you go up as high, you crawl up the stick as high as you feel comfortable. And you lean forward and you're putting traction on the shoulder. And it feels really good. It works well for impingement problems. I could probably start off on the floor. Yeah, there you go.
So we're actually pushing this into the ground as we go. We're not just
you're trying to jab it into the ground, and it's actually putting traction on the shoulder.
Yep, and then you just go down to what's comfortable.
I've had a lot of people with arthritis that really like this thing. They'll come in, and they can only lift their arm this high, and I'll have them work on this. We'll send one home with them, and they'll work their way up the stick, and then they'll stretch. And after they stretch, they go a little bit farther and stretch. And it's amazing. They'll come back and they're all proud because they've gained more motion. And often when you gain motion, the other consequence is your pain level goes down. So this is just step one, stretch one we do.
Yeah.
But it works really well to work on that, and we're going to show you a bunch of other ones to do with it also. Now, I know I'm jumping around, Mike, and you don't like this when I do this.
He jumps around all the time.
Yeah. So, actually, a lot of these exercises we're doing today are based on this book called Treat Your Own Shoulder. It's by Robin McKenzie. Mike's going to show it. Yeah. Well done, Mike. Well done.
Thank you. Practicing.
So he was a physical therapist, really probably one of the most famous physical therapists in our world, in the physical therapy
Well,
world.
it wasn't on the internet.
Yeah, in 34 countries. He's passed away, I think, about 5 years ago. He is very well known and very successful. His forms of treatment. The book itself, you can read it and you can treat yourself, and you can be pretty successful on treating yourself. And the book is only like $10.
Yeah, it's only $9.99 on Amazon, so it's a pretty cheap book.
But the Booyah Stick works really well with it because he goes over stretches like this. And so again, the first one we had was the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
The next one that I'm going to go ahead and stand up for this one, he actually has you work on extensions. So let's say this is the painful shoulder. What I'm going to do is actually, it's rowing, right?
Kind of like you're rowing.
Yeah.
Yes. Not quite like paddling a canoe because you'd go way out.
So it's
like
interesting.
this.
Most of your day is spent with the shoulder, the arm forward like this and maybe overhead. This is actually the opposite. And by doing this,
you're going to knock something
I'm going to knock something over. By doing this, you actually you can help relieve the shoulder pain. So again, we're never looking for pain when we do these. We're looking for either less pain or neutral.
So your painful arm is the one going backwards.
Right.
And you're going to use your good arm to help push it back to what's comfortable. You might only get to here. That's fine. Just do what you can.
Yeah, and you go further and further each time. And what I like to see is that you actually do it maybe 6 to 8 times a day.
Yeah, and this is a pretty easy exercise. It normally doesn't cause pain for people. So you're not going up at all. You're just going backwards.
No, and Mike, we actually suggest that if you have to do a lot of overhead activities, every once in a while you take a break and you actually stretch your arm back. If you don't have a Booyah Stick, I'm going to show you, you can actually just take your arm and go back like this. So if you're painting or working overhead, stop, take a second and go like this, and you'll find out that the shoulder pain doesn't get as intense if you do some of those.
Yeah.
All right, next one. There's a question already. Oh, wonderful.
There's a few questions. I have a son, this is from Cheryl. I have a son who has weakened use of his left shoulder and arm due to brain surgery. Any fun exercises you can recommend? He is 11.
Okay, Cheryl was asking, she has a son who has had brain surgery. He's 11 years old, and she wants to know if we'll do some strengthening. There's some strengthening we could show you. And yes, we are going to show that later, but I can't go to it now because Mike will yell at me. So we're going to stick with the Booyah Stick right now.
He can show you some Booyah Stick things he can work on. It depends if he has range of motion or not.
Right.
I mean,
if he doesn't have full motion, he could start with the stick. But I'm going to probably recommend the actual
bands,
stretch bands,
resistance bands.
What's the other question, Danny?
The next one is from Patty. My hubby is 75 and has rotary tears in both shoulders. Therefore, he's unable to raise his arm very high for very long. Is there exercise for that?
Okay, so Patty has a husband who's 70, what?
75.
75.
Rotator cuff.
And he has bilateral rotator cuff. They call them rotary sometimes, people, but they're actually rotator cuff. That's 4 muscles in your shoulders. And these exercises do work for that, especially the stretching like this one.
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. I'm going to mention another book, sorry. This book is by Dr. John Kirsch, and he was an orthopedic surgeon. And you want to run that up there? His idea was to actually use hanging to improve your shoulder. And he found out, the testimonials in this book are amazing. A lot of people were going to have surgery, and they actually ended up not requiring surgery because all they did was a form of hanging.
Which was what I'm doing.
Right.
For
He's using the hanging handles that we sell, but you can also use the Booyah Stick and do that traction where it's like you're hanging. And believe it or not, again, it'll help your range, but it can help with the rotator cuff, allow it to heal and keep it stretched out while doing so. Next exercise, I want to go ahead. We did the one going back to extension. Now we're going to do internal rotation, Mike. So
okay. Behind the back.
Yeah, behind the back. You can see this okay. So let's say this is my painful shoulder.
Turn that way a little more.
This way.
There you go.
Okay. Here's my painful shoulder. This one I have palm going out, and this one is palm going in. And what I'm going to do is just work on sliding it up as far as it will go. Generally, what you'll find is the painful shoulder, you can only maybe go up this high on your back. That's why women a lot of times have trouble snapping their bra, or not snapping, unsnapping their bra. They don't snap their own bra. So you'll find out like the better shoulder, the one that doesn't give you pain, might go up this high, and the bad shoulder only goes this high. So that's another one you're going to work on, again, in a pain-free range. So you're going to start off and maybe and this is where the Booyah Stick works out really nice because it's slippery. You won't get splinters from a broom on you.
We'll also show a stretch strap later doing the same thing. You can do this with numerous options as well.
So you can work, again, you're going to work up further and further. You do all these exercises can be done throughout the day. So you can do them, again, 6 to 8 times a day. It's going to be a lot more effective than picking one part of the day and trying to do exercise than you want to spread it out. That's just going to work out.
Yeah, just do a set like morning, afternoon, evening if possible, obviously. If you're limited on time, just at least pick a time of day and do a couple of them.
All right, Danny's got another question for us.
We got a question from Robert. I have a frozen shoulder with severe pain. Would the stick be of benefit to me?
Okay, this is the thing about frozen shoulders, Robert. I like your name, by the way.
Of course you do.
I was called Robert until college. So I'm Bob now. With the frozen shoulder, it goes as 3 phases. One is the freezing phase, and that's the most painful phase. And that can these can vary in the length, but it can last a couple months where it actually is freezing up. Then it's the frozen phase, and it's less painful, but that can last several months. And then there's the unfreezing phase where it starts to get better. So most frozen shoulders will get better on their own. It's just a matter of how long they take. And if you do some of these exercises while you're going through the process, the recovery will be faster generally, especially if you do the recovery during the where it's unfrozen. When it's got the last phase.
And a lot of these exercises are in the McKenzie book we showed earlier.
Right.
So it's $10 book. You can look up all these exercises are in there. You can just do them with the Booyah Stick.
How to treat your own shoulder.
They have Bob and Brad look up frozen shoulder videos. They have all 3 phases and videos demonstrating what to do during each phase. So
yeah, we actually, if you go to bobandbrad.com, there's also a program. You go to the program section. There's a program on treating shoulders. It's completely free. It's got about 40 videos. Look through the titles, and you'll see one on frozen shoulder.
Yeah, I think there's 3 of them on frozen shoulder.
Yep.
Every phase of it. So.
Yep. And then you can actually, there's a printout that comes with it. You can actually print out. All of this is for free. So, but you'll find quite often, again, in the last stage, the Booyah Stick does help. So let's go to the next one, Mike, the next exercise. Actually, you can do this lying down on your back, and you actually are just going to work on doing straight shoulder flexion. Easier on your back because the back of your shoulder is supported. And you can use, let's say this is my painful arm. The left arm will help the right arm go up overhead. And you just work on trying to gain back motion. And again, it's going to be a lot easier lying on your back to do that.
Most people with injured shoulders are going to get about this high. Just
Yeah,
an FYI. So don't be discouraged. It takes a while to get it comfortable to lift it up higher.
Another way to do this, Mike, if you could maybe show profile, is actually use one arm to help the other arm go up like this.
Don't do this with another person because you're going to poke each other. We're discovering in a small space.
That's right. But again, every exercise should be pain-free. If you start hitting pain, you back off. You don't go as far, but it'll eventually, hopefully, get some motion, and it'll decrease your pain lows. Going like this, it actually, after you've been lying down for a while, if you want to try some standing or sitting, you can do it, and that starts working on strengthening the shoulder then.
Yeah.
Again, left shoulders help with the right shoulder, or right shoulders help with the left shoulder. We'll show you some strengthening exercises too later on, but really, I have people start with stick. I don't even have them start with strengthening usually.
No, typically get your motion back. Once you can get more motion and you're feeling comfortable, then you can start strengthening.
Now I'm going to show you one advanced one. Works really well with the impingement, and I invented this. So Brad named it. He calls it the chicken wing.
Do you want to show it because the mic is here, and if you're talking at the wall, you probably can't hear it as well.
So Mike's going to show it. His painful arm is the lower arm. Yep. And the upper arm, the palm is facing towards the head. Lower arm, palm is facing out. And he wants to make sure he's not going to hit his head, so he goes off to the side a little bit. Yep, there you go. And I'll go ahead and bring it. And sometimes you bring it up even a little bit. You bring it up into internal rotation. You slide it up a little bit, and then you go out.
So up, then out. If you can't go this high, just keep it down lower and then try it.
Right. You want to show from this side, right, like that. There, perfect, Mike. There. Now, he's not bending forward with it like that. Right. He's just bending his arms.
You have to do this standing, obviously. You couldn't do this with a chair behind you.
Now, I don't want anybody who's got loose shoulders or arthritic, like rheumatoid arthritis. We don't want to dislocate your arm or your shoulder.
Yeah, if you have a history of dislocated shoulders, you probably don't want to try this one.
Right. But it's a remarkably effective for shoulder impingement. I did it myself. It was the only thing that worked for me that took it away. Brad then, he was very skeptical. He didn't believe it at all. He finally got some shoulder impingement, and this was what took it away for him. And my wife, very skeptical, but she finds it helps her too if she does it. Obviously she fails to do it.
So step one is working on getting your arm up, your back further, and then step two would be to add the chicken wing component to it. So
again, I'm going to recommend the book How to Treat Your Own Shoulder by Robin McKenzie. Really good comprehensive book. It's only $9, you said, Mike?
Yeah, it's $10, $9.99 on Amazon.
Yeah. And you'll see, when you go on Amazon, you'll see the ratings are really high on this because it helped a lot of people. And not only do they go over exercises, but they also go over what you do in your everyday life.
Yeah, they have illustrations of everything, the exercises you can try with them. It's only 78 pages total. It's a pretty cheap book, and it's more for the common person.
Lay person.
Yeah, it's not for a physical therapist written in that terminology. So,
well, as physical therapists, I've given away this book many times. I actually gave it to a neighbor lady who thought it was a miracle.
If you have other problems, McKinsey has like every body part book.
Yeah.
So each book is a different body part.
We're big fans. It really does a great job. Mike, what should we go to next? Should we go to maybe the wall anchor?
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna grab the wall anchor here. I think I'm gonna bring my chair up to show them first.
So the wall anchor is just it's
an attachment device.
Yes, so you can use it for bands. If you actually order the hanging handles, which are above us right here, they come with wall anchors, so you don't have to buy them separate. They
come with two, just right?
Yep, they come with two, so a pair for each handle. When you order them separate, they come in a 3-pack. It's $36.95.
Unless you order from our website.
Yeah, our website, you get a 4-pack.
You get an extra one. So this looks like not much. Doesn't look like much, but actually, it's made out of a high intensity plastic that you can actually, through the center grip here, through the ends here, we measured up to 800 pounds of pressure, and it would still hold. In the center, it was over 1,000 pounds. You probably don't remember that, Mike, or don't know that.
So you can just clip on different type of bands to it, loop bands, tubing, TheraBands. There's different ways you can go about.
Yeah, see how Mike is going through the center of it.
Through it. You can do more than one band at once. You can hang from them, like the hanging handles. They also have a pull-up system. You can do pull-ups from it, which is a variation of the hanging handles.
Yeah, so it's just a great way to attach your bands to the wall because the bands do come with a door attachment too.
Yeah.
You want to grab that, Mike? Mike, I need the board.
I should hold it up.
Oh, you're going to show it. So it does come with a door attachment.
The bands do. If you want to put this in a door up high, on the side, down low, as long as your door latch is shut. You can do the exercise bands for shoulder stuff that way too, but the wall anchor is a different way if you got room on your wall and good studs.
Yeah, and I think it's a good reminder to you. Like, it's time to work out, Robert, because you can see these on the wall.
Wall anchors are calling you?
Yeah, they're calling me. But again, these come separate from the bands. You have to buy the bands separate, and again, you get 3 of these. You also get 2 screws, and it is so important when you put these in the wall that you go into a stud. Because these things, if you want them to hold, if you just put them in the sheetrock, they'll pull right out.
Yeah, especially when you're using the hanging handles, you'll just rip them right out of the wall and you'll fall down. So
we're really careful about that. You can see the screw here. It actually goes in quite deep. That's right now. He's got it listed. He's showing about how far down it goes.
On Amazon, there's a demonstration video by Brad of how to put them in right and how to find your studs. So if you have questions, just watch the video.
Yep, you need to have a stud finder, and it goes off when it goes near me. So anyway, we're gonna what? So we showed how it attaches. Now I want to show a couple exercises that are for shoulder problems. One of them is shoulder external rotation. So I'm just while I'm close here, I'm going to show you keep your arm at a right angle. This is the painful shoulder. I'm going to grab the handle. I'm going to turn out like this.
You don't go like this.
You don't wing out. You don't have a flying wing.
Elbows stay in close.
Yep.
You can, if you have trouble with that, put a towel under your armpit. Keep the towel there the whole time you're doing it, and then you're in the right position. Don't also try and just straighten your elbow like this. It's a rotation component.
Yeah, so what that's going to do, it's going to strengthen 2 of the muscles of the rotator cuff. The rotator cuff, besides helping you lift the arm, it also helps take the bone that forms a ball, and helps hold it in the socket. And the better it stays in the socket, the less likely it's going to give you like impingement, or it's going to rotate around and irritate your arthritis if you have that. You want it solidly in there, and by strengthening the rotator cuff, it's going to make a big difference. You don't need to do this one every day. The Booyah Stick, I wanted to do every day.
This is more of a stretching range of motion. This is more of a strengthening.
Yeah, so you can do it 2 to 3 times a week. Definitely every other day, not every day, 2 days in a row.
Yeah. Because
you want to strengthen. But you can easily get by with 3 times a week or 2 times a week. So let's show you the external rotation, and then Mike, I'll probably show just shoulder flexion, maybe. All right.
Resistance?
What's that?
With resistance?
Yeah, with resistance.
Oh, okay.
Just going up to the level.
Yeah.
So, all right, here we are. I've got the band hooked up to the middle level. Usually what we recommend, when you get 3 wall anchors, we recommend putting one up as high as you can reach, so you can still put it. Another one we like in the middle, around chest level, and the last one as low as you can reach, so you can do
Down where I am.
curls, and other things near the floor. So here I am. I got the arm into my side, got the right angle, and I'm gonna just go out like this. It's a real easy one to do. This one generally isn't painful for people. You can also work the other way, like going internal rotation. Of course, it'd be the wrong arm here. But if this arm is painful, you can work on internal. So we call these innies and outies.
Those are belly buttons, Bob.
Yeah, well, this is also rotator cuff. So these are small muscles. They aren't real big muscles, so you don't need a lot of resistance to start off with. You don't want to really stress it.
These bands are also Bob and Brad resistance bands, by the way. There's 5 of them. There's different colors. Read the amount of percentage per pounds. They get easier or harder. This is typically a harder exercise. It's a small muscle in your shoulder group. So
Right, and generally the bands, isn't it the darker they get, the harder they get?
yeah, typically the darker the color.
And we have 2 sets of bands. One's a little more strong, more resistance, and Mike's going to show you have shoulder flexion. Now, when you do shoulder flexion,
you can do one at a time too.
Yeah, we don't like you going up like this. I just don't like that.
Well, especially with a band, you can't get it. Kind of goes into your armpit anyway. But.
Yeah, but I just feel like there's a lot of people don't have good technique, and it can cause impingement. And I just, you're going to get plenty of benefits just going up to level. So why go any higher than that? So you're doing the outies, you're doing the innies, you're doing the shoulder flexion, and that's going to cover it, except for where I'm going to show you is posture. Your shoulder blades are the base of your shoulder. They're the ones that give support to your shoulder. So these bones right in the back are really important in shoulder pain. If you have poor posture, your shoulder is going to be in poor position, and that can cause pain itself. So I want to show you something right now before I show the posture exercise. Let's say I'm straight up and down. Look how high my shoulder goes. Now, let me lean forward in bad posture. That's it. I can't go any farther. Just by leaning forward and putting my scapulas or shoulder blades in a bad position. So you want to have them in good position so you get full range. If you're limited like this, it's actually going to impinge against the tendon, and this can result in pain eventually. So for posture, this is where these bands pay off for themselves. I mean, if you ask me. So you can actually do W's. I'm going to grab the handles here, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to make, can you show the W, Mike?
Squeezing his shoulder blades together. So here is the W itself.
Right.
So
the W for win.
You get a lot of different shoulder muscles all engaging at the same time with this. You got some external rotators. You got the scapular region as well. With your shoulder blades help function with your shoulder movement.
And you can go down like this too. You can go straight out like this. All of those work different muscles around the shoulder blade.
Yeah.
And they really work for your posture. If you're trying to improve your posture, this is one you need to add in. So.
Again, start with the lightest resistance and go up. It might feel easy, and if you never do them or you don't resistance train, you might be really sore the next day. So just a FYI, start easy.
All right, let's again. Well, since we're over here, we'll talk about the hanging handles again.
Yeah, we'll talk about the hanging handles now. So they're connected to the wall anchors, but they do come in the pack if you purchase the hanging handles. Which is like $50 roughly.
All right, we first became aware of this concept, maybe 5-6 years ago, when one of our subscribers said, "Hey, have you checked out Dr. Kirsch's book on shoulder pain and hanging?" So this is his latest edition, I believe, his 5th edition. So it's shoulder pain, the solution and prevention. You'll see it down below, right, Mike?
Yeah.
It'll be pinned, or I don't know what they call that, pinned down below.
Danny will put it in the description.
Okay. So anyway, inexpensive book, but it explains in great detail why he believes in hanging. The testimonials in this book are amazing. I mean, there were so many people that were on the verge of having surgery did the hanging, and they didn't require surgery at all. The pain went away. I mean, it sounds like a church. To be honest with you, when people are giving their testimonials,
It's cheap book too. Kindle's $10. It's like 15 for paperback. So
inexpensive, Mike. Inexpensive, not cheap.
inexpensive quality content.
Yeah.
How about that?
So Mike's going to show right now. Yeah, this hanging handle. It comes with the two handles. It comes with two anchors.
Yep.
Wall anchors, and you can set them up. And again, you have to make sure they're into a stud so you can hang. Now you can hang anywhere. You can hang on a pull-up bar. You can hang on a tree branch. You can hang on a stud, the rafters.
Support beam.
Yeah. So you don't need this. This is just nice because you can put it in your office or your bedroom, and that's where I have one, and in my office. And it's actually, they're good for your back too. They give it some traction to your back, so they actually are a great form of relief. But what's nice about this, as you can see, when Mike does this, his back is supported by the wall, but he doesn't have to lift his feet up. He actually has some support to his feet. Eventually, he can lift his legs up like this, and he's really stretching the arm in. But we talk about starting with maybe just 10 seconds of hanging, on the shoulder.
Obviously, you have to have the range of motion to get your arms up here
Right.
first. So the Booyah Stick.
You might actually have to use one arm to help the other arm up. Yeah, and no pain again. We're not looking for pain.
No, just start. So
some stretching discomfort maybe, but not pain.
It stretches. You'll get some distraction in your shoulder. But I mean, if this is all you can handle, like this little bit and all your weight's in your feet, that's fine. Just slowly try to go lower and lower with it until you can eventually get legs up. So.
Yeah, there's again, I talk about, we even do a little rotational thing for the back, like you hang, Mike, and rotate the legs back and forth a little bit. And even if you keep your feet on the ground and do it like that, that just, it's almost like it's manipulating the back and giving some relief.
Yeah, it decompresses your spine to a point. So
it's funny, he brings up that you don't see any apes with back pain or monkeys because they're brachiating, he calls it. That's the shoulder.
Now.
Right. All right, why don't we talk about the stretch out strap?
Sure. So we're switching to stretch out strap. This can be used to stretch many different areas. It's pretty inexpensive. If you don't want to buy one, you can use a bed sheet and tie it up.
Yeah.
It's only $18.
We were really picky about this. There's a lot of them out there, but we really liked a lot of features about this. One, it's very long. Do you got the length of this? Or?
No, I didn't have the length, but it's taller than Bob, and Bob's 6'6", so it can pretty much go to the ceiling.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like an
8 feet.
Foot ceiling.
It's probably 9 feet long. I really like the texture because it's smooth, and we'll show you in a minute why that's important. I like the loops. This part is a little bit longer, so it's really easy to put your hands in there or to put your legs in there when you're stretching. So it's just really high quality. You can also, we've hung on this, Brad and I, and yeah.
Well, you're tall.
No, put it through the handles.
I can hang right here.
Yeah.
But I can't reach that high. It's too high for me.
I was going to have you put it through the handles like this.
Oh.
That's all right.
I need a double.
So one of the ones that I really like doing, we show that one where you go up your back. This works really well for that. So you go around like this and you actually loop your hand in like this, and it works really well because it's slippery. So you can work on going up and down like this. And Mike's a Booyah Stick, and I'm doing it with the stretch out strap.
You can do it with a normal belt if you have a long enough one. A leather belt would be better.
Right.
Or a bed sheet, or a stick, or whatever you
All
have.
those things. You can also, I wouldn't get one of these unless you want to use it for stretching your legs too. I just want.
Yeah, you can do a lot of leg stretching with that. With the arm itself, a belt would suffice.
Right. And you can also, let's say you have a painful shoulder here, you can actually use the good arm to bring it up and stretch it that way. You can also do stretches like this, where you stretch. A lot of people don't realize if you're having shoulder pain, your chest muscles may be tight, and they're pulling you over like this, and then it impinges the shoulders. It internally rotates the shoulders and impinge them. So a good stretch is just to take a stretch out strap, and it's nice. Again, if you have arthritis, you can put your hands in the loops, and you can stretch out like this. I gotta go grab on like this though. And you can stretch out like this, and you can actually work going up overhead like this and stretch your shoulders back and chest back and work all the way down and come back around again.
This would be more advanced when your shoulder's better.
Right.
More or preventative.
So again, this one is not as direct for shoulder pain. It's more if you want to stretch the overall body. I like it because it's very portable. You could stick this in your pocket and take it to a gym and stretch before.
Yeah, it's super lightweight, and there's like 12 loops, so you can kind of count to where you put your extremities for each stretch, so you kind of know.
All right, let's go to another product, Mike. I haven't even said Brad yet.
You did twice now. You just did it indirectly.
Oh, I said it.
Never you want to talk about the back pod?
Sure. Let's talk about the back pod.
We'll go to the back pod, which is most commonly used for costochondritis, but can also help with shoulder
and posture. A lot of people may not see the correlation here, but again, it is so important when you have problems with your shoulder that you stretch out the posture muscles, and these are the ligaments that go over the vertebrae are very strong. They're stronger than steel, he says.
You're made of steel?
Yeah,
wow.
Made of steel. So in order to manipulate those bones, we want you to lie on the back pod. Now you can start off with just a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball, but eventually if you find that helps, we recommend you actually lie on the back pod because we know the guy who invented this, and he did a really good job. It's very strong, and he picked out the right shape to really work on those areas. Yeah. So, Mike, if you flip around, so what we're trying to do, we're trying to stretch out the ligaments of the vertebrae in this area here, from the lower neck to right below the shoulder blades, which is about T8, T7. So what I do this every morning. My wife's a big advocate of this now too. I first lie on it in this position, right by the lower neck. I'm not on the spine. I like it off the spine. Then I go to the other side, and I go 6 areas. All of them on the side of the spine, not directly on the spine. And I just lie there for a couple of minutes, and while I'm lying there, maybe I'll hold it once. I just bring my arms up over your head. I take deep breaths, and it stretches. Now, for many of you, this will be too aggressive to start off with. We recommend actually, he does too. He sends a nice little book along with it.
Yep.
You got that, Mike?
Yeah.
How many pages is that book?
I don't know. Let me look at it.
All right, well, you lie on it, and while you're taking deep breaths, and you can bring your arms back, and you're expanding your shoulders, and what you'll find is, it took away, I was having knot pain back here. It took that away. It really puts me in good posture for the day. Mike's going to try to count.
What? Oh, it's like 16-page book, but he just shows exactly where to put it. We actually did a podcast with him. His name is Steve August, if you want to look it up.
Yeah, very interesting guy, therapist from New Zealand, and he single-handedly is really helping the problem of costochondritis, and that's pain around the chest, which you actually treat by going back here with the back pod.
And by the way, you should lay on this on a firm surface. Don't put it on your bed and lay on it. It's not going to do very much.
Lie on it.
Lie on it, unless you got a rock for a bed.
And you can actually... He was talking about you could actually drive a vehicle over this thing and not break it.
Can we try it?
Well, we're going to try that sometime, okay. Sure. So it's got heavy-duty plastic, and it's got a rubber covering. Again, fairly expensive for this thing. But I know all the costs of manufacturing, and I'm guessing again his profit margin is that big on
Plus,
this.
it ships from Australia, so
Right.
it's yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I know that seems like it's not involved with the shoulder, but if you do not get the shoulder blade in the correct position, your shoulder will not get better. Again, we'll take questions if you have any
Shoulder
questions
pain.
on shoulder pain, and we'll talk about even if it doesn't involve any of the products, we'll give you an answer.
Rotator cuff problems, impingement, frozen shoulder, rotator cuff tears.
Why don't we talk about the massagers?
Sure, we're gonna switch over to talking about massaging your shoulder pain.
Now we have a whole array of massage guns and handheld massager. Now, the thing about these is again, I don't know if I would buy one just for shoulder pain, but this thing is good for what ails you. I mean,
Yeah, you can use this everywhere if you have pain in other areas. This is the C2 model we have. It is $130, which really isn't that bad. It's very powerful. You get
that's the high end one.
Yeah, this is the high end one. You get 5 different massage heads with it. I just happen to have the ball on there. It's got 5 intensity modes, just one button, and it's rechargeable. So
The big thing about these massage guns, and at first we were very reluctant to even sell them, is they don't just vibrate; they actually percuss. So,
yeah, you can see it traveling in a
what's your
forward
fingers on
motion.
it like?
Well, I can see my forearm moving around. I mean, you can see
Here.
my fingers.
Yeah,
So it's a percussion motion.
right, and that is so much more effective than they used to have these in the past. That they would just vibrate and they wouldn't do that much. The other thing is they were initially very expensive, $400 to $600. We had people send them to us or wanted to send them to us, and we said we're not going to show these to people because they're too expensive. But now they've come down. Here is our least expensive version. Oh, you want to show that first?
Here are different heads you can use. So we got an air-filled head. We got a fork head. I'll pull the back up so both people can see me. Got a fork head. We got a flat head. And you got a bullet-shaped head. So you pick which one's more comfortable for you. If you have a lot of shoulder pain, you're probably going to use the airhead or the ball.
Yeah, the airhead. What's nice about that, you can actually go over.
Just don't call me an airhead.
Yeah, you can actually go over bone, and it's pretty comfortable with that. The bullet head is really intense. I use it on my calf muscles because it really gets in there. It work well on quads and stuff. The round head can be used just about anywhere. I actually, the way Mike uses it, the way Brad uses it.
I just called him Brad Mike.
Yeah.
He's doing the opposite.
You want to stop it once? Oh, you don't have the round head. You want to put the round head on there once. I'm going to show how he actually uses it on. A lot of times people have a tendonitis in the shoulder, and so he'll turn it on, and he'll actually, instead of going directly on the shoulder like that and where it bounces, he'll go off to the side. And that works really well to do what we call cross fiber massage on the tendon, and it actually can break up the scar tissue, and you can really knock the pain levels down.
Instead of direct on, he goes off to the side like this.
Again, they run for like 15 minutes, Mike, and then
nonstop, no turn off. You can just restart it. You just have to hold. If you get it, you have to hold the button for a few seconds till it actually turns on.
Right.
So just hold it. Blue lights will light up. See there?
The first time I got it, I thought it didn't work, but you got to hold the button for 3 seconds before it starts again.
And then if you just want it more intense, you just push down harder. That's all you have to do. So.
Right. This one is actually our low-end one. This is the handheld massager. This is only $40, right?
Yeah, it is $39.99.
$39.99. Save yourself a penny. It has 5 attachments also. They actually screw on this one. And this one doesn't have as much percussion, but if you are elderly or of a slight build, more like me, it's probably going to be enough for you. And what's nice about it, it has the handle, so you can actually hit hard to reach spots.
Yeah, you can get your shoulder blade area, which is good for shoulder problems. So
Right.
As long as you can reach back there with your shoulder.
Yeah. In fact, it was a similar one like this. That these are the first ones that came out, and so this is the one I gave to my mother-in-law. She likes to use it on the bottom of her feet. I know we're talking about shoulders today, but works well for neuropathy. But on the shoulder, you can actually, like I said, you can do cross fiber. You can hit the deltoid muscle. You can also hit the muscles. A lot of people don't know this, but the rotator cuff actually comes from the shoulder blade and then attaches to the shoulder. So you can actually go right over the shoulder muscles that are giving you trouble and massage those a little bit, give some relief. So again, real deal on this one. I want to show the Q2, Mike.
Sure.
This is the small one.
I got a bullet on there right now. Is that what you want?
So this is probably my favorite one. This is the one I use all the time. It's very small, so you can actually just put it in your pocket and steal it. You can also put it in your purse or your purse. But what's nice about it is it's very powerful for the size it is. It's shockingly powerful. I was just amazed. My son, who's kind of a big beefy guy now, he likes using this one too because you can when you grab onto it like this, you can get a lot of leverage. You can really dig in when you use it, you can push it hard as you can. You can't make it stop.
It's easier to get different angles with this one than the other gun because of the way the handle works.
Again, and talking about shoulder pain, you can actually get up in the shoulder blade with this one. Oh, that actually feels really
You
good.
might have to have a significant other get like your.
Yeah, the lower shoulder blade.
Yeah, these are pretty
Oh,
hard
that
to
feels
try and get in there on your own.
Sometimes I forget how good these feel. But this also has 5 attachments in the inner head again, so if you go over bony structures, it won't bother you. It does have this bullet head, which is one that I use for bigger muscles and really get in there, really dig into that.
Yeah, this one's only $89, by the way. It's a little cheaper. It has the 5 heads in the carrying case, rechargeable as well.
I have given away at least 20 of these.
He has.
I have. Mike knows because he orders them sometimes for me. But I actually just gave away a bunch of them to family members and friends. 3 guys I golf with, I gave them each one because one guy was having trouble with tendonitis on his shoulder. On his forearm. He was at the tennis elbow, and he was using this to go across the tennis elbow.
How heavy is the white model?
He uses this before he golfs, and it actually knocks down the level of pain that he feels with golf.
The white model Deborah is only 1.76 pounds in weight, so they're all very lightweight. They're all only a pound or so.
Right, but a little easier to use that one. I like to give that one recommended, like if you're having piriformis problems, which is in your butt, or
if you're geriatric or have more frail skin. My grandma actually has one of the handheld ones. She likes it. My parents have it too, and they kind of like it. But I personally like the guns.
Yeah,
it's
me
more
too.
powerful.
Yeah.
But it's just a personal preference thing,
Yep, exactly. These are very versatile. If you're looking for a gift to give somebody, what's coming up anyway? We're past Mother's Day.
Halloween.
Halloween. There we go. If you're looking for a gift for Halloween,
The kids will be wondering where the candy is.
yeah, handheld massage guns.
There's
But
some military holiday thing. I don't know.
if you give this one to a family member, I guarantee you they're going to be happy because I actually gave it to some teachers that my wife worked with, and they said they fight for it in their family to see who gets to use it. So
we gave one to Brad Walker, and he said his family's fighting over it too.
yeah, Brad Walker, who was on our podcast, he's a stretching expert, and we sent him one, and he said, how much he loved it, and his family is fighting over it. So.
Oh, question, yes.
There's a question from Carrie. They say, I have been wondering about these products for muscle spasms. I have Ehlers-Danlos.
Sure. Ehlers-Danlos.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie, what's her name?
Yep, Carrie.
She has Ehlers-Danlos, and she has muscle spasms. This works well for muscle spasms. I'm going to tell a story, actually, Mike. A neighbor, a friend of mine, who actually gave one of these, he has a daughter who became paralyzed while skiing from her waist down. She's a doctor, believe it or not, and she uses a massage gun to help control her spasms.
Oh, in her legs.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll get spasms in your legs from after you've been paralyzed. The muscles no longer work, but they actually spasm on their own. And she found the massage gun is the thing that worked the best to help control. She'll get a couple hours of no spasms after she uses this. So I suspect it would really help. I would probably, again, depending on your size, you can maybe get by with the smaller version of one. So, Mike, do we have any other products we have to talk about today, or are we going to go back and talk about some of the other ones again?
We didn't talk about the bands a whole lot.
The exercise bands?
Yeah, we showed a few exercises, though. I think we hit everything mainly, but we can. If anyone has any more shoulder pain questions, even if it's not about a product, feel free to ask.
Well, we'll go back to the Booyah Stick too. There's people who are probably watching now that didn't see us when we were first. The thing that we start with every program is when we start wanting people to get rid of their shoulder pain. The first thing we recommend is the book. Where's that one, Mike?
Kinsey's right over here.
Oh. This is a great book. This will get rid of your therapist and get rid of us. Just how to treat your own shoulder. Very good book. I can't recommend it enough. This one's actually $20.
Well, I've seen it for $12 and $20, so I guess look at the links and find which one.
Yeah, because I've seen it for usually it's not very much. That's $20 on there.
I saw it for $12 the other day. So.
Yeah, so keep an eye out.
Might just be different sellers as well.
By far the best book for the layperson on shoulder pain. He will take you step by step what you should do to treat your shoulder pain. He has since passed, but he is very highly regarded in the therapy world. He was probably, I would say, the number one therapist that people respect in our world. And you will see, when you go to Amazon, you'll see the high ratings for it.
Yeah, it's like 4.5 out of 5 on this one I clicked on. So.
And how many thousand?
Well, that's only.
That one.
That's only 429. It just depends on the seller.
Yeah, because I've seen with his knee once, and he's got one for the back.
Yeah, he's got every basically major joint body.
So usually what we do is
question.
We have a couple questions there from.
Couple questions.
So Daniel was asking. I was diagnosed with scapular dyskinesia, and I was told there isn't a lot I can do for it. There's winging isn't severe, and my shoulder is strong. However, I experience pain and discomfort daily. Is there any help for me to get rid of this pain permanently? Thanks.
So she's got scapular dyskinesia, which means the scapula is not moving quite right. And I would say that I still would do strengthening to the muscles around the shoulder blade. And I would use, again, you don't have to use ours, but I would use the
resistance bands.
Resistance bands, yeah.
TheraBand, resistance band, tubing, whatever you have.
I can hook the bands up. They come with an attachment. You can do your door, or you can hook them up to the wall anchor. And a simple one for the shoulder blades is just to strengthen. You squeeze the shoulder blades together like this to help try to keep them in place.
Just squeeze these muscles right in there. You can do it lots of different ways. He's kind of doing almost a W. Now he's on a W. You can just do normal.
Down like this.
You can just do normal scapular rows too, as well, just pulling straight back.
We got lots of videos on this on how to improve your posture, and it's certainly not going to hurt you to try to strengthen the muscles around the scapula. What was the other question, Danny?
This one was from Joanne. I have MS. At times, my neck feels unable to hold my head up, sending pain down my spine and across my shoulders. Any info/help would be appreciated.
So Joanne has MS, and she has trouble at times with the muscles holding up her head. She feels like her head wants to collapse. Little more difficult with, you can't use your arms really to strengthen the neck muscles. What I would recommend is you actually, at times, you may want to give you don't want to go to the point of fatigue with MS.
Yeah.
You can work things, but not more than what they can tolerate. But you can just do simple isometric exercises with the MS where you actually just hold the back of your head like this and push the head back like this, and that'll help strengthen the muscles that help hold it up. And you can also work on doing chin ducks like this. That'll help strengthen those muscles too. But isometric, again, you can push forward, you can push to the side, you can work on rotations. All those will help strengthen those muscles around the neck that normally we don't strengthen much because you can't put weights on it very easily.
Yeah, and if you're fatigued, you can do those laying in bed. I mean, you can push
Good
your
point, Mike. Good
back
point.
of your head into the pillow.
Good point. Very good point.
So.
That would be a great way to do it, is to start by lying down on your back and pushing the head into the pillow. And that's strengthening the muscles. And it's funny, it doesn't take much to strengthen muscles like that. You can do it maybe 3 times a week and it'll make a big difference. So good suggestion, Mike.
There's 2 more questions.
2 more questions.
One's a follow-up from Carrie, who has the Ehlers Danlos.
Sure.
Does the shoulder pain book deal with nerve pain?
The shoulder pain book from McKinsey does talk a little bit about nerve pain. Now, when you have nerve pain, quite often the nerve pain is coming from the neck and going into the shoulder. In that case, what I recommend actually is getting his book, How to Treat Your Own Neck Pain, because this will not really go into.
Yeah, he's got a little bit.
He talks a little bit about
He's got
it.
a little bit on neck.
Yeah.
But not a lot. It's not as specific as his whole neck book would be.
Yeah, the neck book will take you in through step by step. Again, the nerve pain, almost invariably, it's coming from the neck. If you're having pain down the arm and it's nerve pain, there's some other special conditions that could be coming from lower down, but it's unlikely. So, Danny's got another question.
The next question's from Nance. I have an IT band. I'll cramp up or spasm during some stretching. Any suggestions after a labrum tear repair?
Okay, Nancy is a little bit, she was talking about her IT band, which actually is the leg, but she also has the labrum tear. Now, a labrum is the structure that helps hold the bone in place in your shoulder. And it's not unusual for that to get torn, especially as you get older. It's part of wear and tear, but it helps stabilize the shoulder. So if yours is a little bit involved, what you're going to, it got some tears in it, you want to strengthen the shoulder, and that'll help hold that shoulder in place since the labrum is not doing its job. So you can start off with, I'm going to show you one that you can do for free without equipment first. You can just start what we call isometric exercises. So you can actually take your arm and I'm going to push it that way towards the wall. You're doing, if the wall wasn't there, my arm would be going like this. Just hold it for a count of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is really 5 seconds. You can also go backwards, push into the wall, forward, push into the wall, and also the right angle, pushing out into the wall. And that will be isometrically strengthening the shoulder, and it will support the shoulder better than it would if you just rely on the labrum itself. I see there's some more questions, Danny, or not?
Well, Carrie responded, okay, that makes sense. I do have an annual tear in the neck and bulge disc. Thanks.
Sure.
And then Nick says it was a hip tear, not a shoulder.
I think it's a hip labrum.
Oh, hip labrum tear. Yeah, again, we're taking most of these shoulder problems, but it's actually the same issue. You're going to strengthen the hip. Yeah.
You just push against the wall with your leg instead of if you can balance.
Right. You would strengthen the muscles around the hip, and that will stabilize, and it'll be less likely to give you trouble.
Yeah. So these are all shoulder questions right now. We'll probably do a few more minutes here.
Sure.
What else do you want to talk
I
about?
wanted to show those, like in the Booyah Stick.
Sure.
So one of our favorite, let's see, where's the chairs?
Right here.
Yeah, want to give me a chair? One of our favorite stretches for shoulder pain. One of the top stretches I'll show you. And it's a progression. And we can use the Booyah Stick. You could use a broomstick. You could use a piece of PVC pipe. Well, again, we apologize for the price of this. Amazon charges a lot to store it, charges a lot to send it.
They're very long.
They're very long. These are very durable. They got kind of like non-grip, good grip surface.
Yeah.
And it's got little rubber tips on each side, so it really grips the ground well. But we only make $6 a piece on these. I'm going to tell what we make on them, if people are worried about the price. But start with the broomstick, see if that'll work. And what we do is you actually take the painful shoulder, work your way up, walk your way up as high as you can, and then lean forward like this, and you're actually putting some traction on the shoulder. Patients love these. If you have arthritis, if you have impingement, if you have tendonitis, and it should not hurt. We don't want pain with this. You work your way up further, stretch again, give it a good long stretch, and you keep working your way up. You can do this several times a day. You can actually do this 6 to 8 times a day. The first day I would just do it once because I don't want you to get too sore from it. Mm-hmm. And see how you did. Next day, maybe add a couple more. But I have had patients, we send this home with them, and they come back all proud of themselves because they can lift their arm up better, or they got more motion in their arm now. And it's just an easy treatment they can do without help of anybody else. So, anything you want to add to that, Mike?
No.
No.
It's a countertop variation of that, but it's a little harder.
Yeah, if you're really tall, you actually, I have to put it in the chair quite often.
And this way where you walk back. But
oh, sure.
This variation is a little trickier if you have poor balance.
Yeah.
It's harder for people to understand sometimes. This is an easier concept.
This is kind of a variation of what we recommend as far as for the book by Dr. Kirsch on hanging. So Dr. Kirsch was a former orthopedic surgeon, and he started having people hang. So it actually, you can do a pull-up bar, you can do a tree branch, you can do a rafter. We sell hanging handles. They actually attach to our anchors, and you can hang.
They're right behind us.
And what's good about those is it actually, he has testimonials here from patients. And we've had videos on this, and people have put their comments in there later saying how much it helped them too. Can help even rotator cuff tears. There's many people there who were scheduled for surgery and actually backed out of the surgery because the hanging alone helped. It's such an easy concept. This is kind of a form of hanging, so you can lean forward, and it's kind of like you're hanging on and get some traction on the shoulder.
Yeah.
The other one is we're actually using the hanging handles. Maybe hold on to that. So
if you have the range of motion and somewhere to hang from, this would be a better option.
Yeah, a good thing to try. Now, you don't want pain, and you can, what's nice about this, your feet on the ground and just apply a small amount of traction to start out with, and then eventually you can actually lift your legs up and do full weight on it. You can, I have found, he recommends going up to like 30 seconds to a minute later on, but you really need good grip strength for that. I have found like 10 seconds really helps. Bouts of 10 seconds. You can do 3 10 seconds in a row or 6 10 seconds in a row. Again, spread it out through the day really makes a difference. Want to add anything to that, Mike?
No, I'm reading his book.
He's reading the book. Why don't we just listen to Mike read the book?
Mike's audiobook on Dr. Kirsch.
So again, the testimonials in that book, he explains in great detail why the hanging helps, but the testimonials in that book are just amazing. I mean, there's people that sound like they're groupies almost. I mean, seriously.
Well, I'm probably thankful I didn't have surgery.
Yeah, when you go from having, it's amazing. My wife just was going through this, and we just had her start. She finally said to me last night, she goes, "You don't understand." She goes, "I can't sleep because of this." And when you can't sleep because of the pain, she goes, it just ruins your whole day. And so last night, she finally listened to me. We had her position right in bed. She had no pain, and she was able to sleep all night. But she started doing some hanging.
Yeah. If you have shoulder problems while sleeping, they do have sleeping position videos as well.
Right.
By the way.
Well, I'll mention it again right now. If you go to bobandbrad.com, go to the program section. The program section, There's a section on shoulder pain. It's got like 30 to 40 videos, and you can just look through the titles and see which ones pertain to you. And these are all free, and they have a 10-minute video or so. And after you watch the video, it actually has a free printout that you can print out whatever the video was about. It has the exercises, and this is all free. We don't even ask for an email. It's our gift to you. Check it out, because you can maybe don't need any of these products. You can maybe start with those.
Yeah.
So
I guess these are. You have anything else to say before I wrap it up?
no, let's wrap her up.
So these are the two books that are probably the most important if you want to get reading material on it. One's by McKinsey, and the other one was by Dr. Kirsch. So just pick which one you need. They're both inexpensive, pretty short, easy to read, explain well what you should do.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people that were able to treat themselves just by reading those books, and they can help themselves along.
If you understand what the problem is, you may be able to fix it.
So when are we going live again, Mike? You said on Thursday?
Thursday, probably 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Central Standard Time.
It's going to be Jordan and myself. Jordan is a
nutritionist.
She's got a master's degree in nutrition,
right,
and a personal trainer as well. She's going to be talking about different supplements she would recommend to people. So we'll be more nutrition talk and supplements.
And by the way, she's pregnant. So if you have any pregnant,
maybe she wasn't going to tell us.
Yeah. She's revealing it to the world right now.
Well, you're revealing it to them.
Nah, she told lots of people. She told me. So
it'll be like probiotics, vitamins, collagen powders. There's a handful of things we'll be talking about.
Yeah, if you're wondering what you should take, what you shouldn't take,
good brands, not good brands. If you have certain problems digestively, what might help better or not, Jordan would be the person to ask.
Yeah.
So.
There you go. Great opportunity to get all your questions answered.
Yeah, so Thursday, 12:30 Central Standard Time.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Really appreciate it.
How do I end this one?